Yes, sir. Be Grace TV. We back at it again. Another episode of the check-in. We got a lot to talk about, so let's jump right into it. Starting off this week's check-in with brand new music, but I kind of want to talk about new music a little differently because this is something that I've been thinking about. It's something that I've noticed in my listening habits, and I want to know what y'all think. I feel like, especially during this pandemic, one of the things that just hasn't been the same, I haven't been able to enjoy it maybe the way that I used to, is new music. And I've noticed that because of this, it's changed the way I listen to music. It's changed the amount of music I listen to. I gotta say, I listen to podcasts way more than I listen to music nowadays. And I wanna know if anybody can relate to me. Am I the only one going through this? Can anybody relate? Does anybody else feel like A, new music isn't really sticking to you like that? B, you're just not excited for new music. You hear a new song and you're like, it's cool. Or C, it's just too much going on. You busy, your mind might be elsewhere. Whatever's going on, you're just not tripping off of new music. And I feel like that's where I find myself, because we get a day like last Friday where we get A-list artists dropping music, we get B-list artists dropping music, we get music from all over, wherever you could think of. We got Nicki Minaj, Drake, and Lil Wayne dropping new music. Of course, J. Cole dropped a heater, Georgia Smith, 21 Savage. So many people dropping music. I would normally be in heaven when this music drops, but for some reason, like most people, I gravitated towards the Cole. I went to that. I gave that a couple of listens. I went to the Nicki. I listened to that. I listened to the new joints a few times. I tried to get through the 21 Savage. I tried to listen to the Georgia Smith project. Didn't get through either one of those. And I'm like over it. And I don't want to say that in a like disrespectful way to the artist, because I know so much goes into it. But I feel like me personally, I just, for some reason, I'm not listening to music. And that's a weird thing, because, and I gotta be honest with y'all, I came in here to do this video and I started talking about the music. I started giving my takes and my opinion, and I was like, didn't even really listen to the music like that to come in here and talk about it the way I was talking about it. So I just didn't feel comfortable. So I figured I'd come in here and we talk about this, because this is something that's real, and I feel like I don't know what it is. And I'm curious to see if and how that changes as outside continues to open back up and things go back to normal. Does my love for music come back the way it used to? Am I staying up on Thursday night? Y'all, let me tell y'all how bad it is. Thursday night, of course, y'all know I've been talking about the J. Cole. I've been making videos about the J. Cole. Thursday night rolled around and I forgot that Cole was even dropping. It was 8:45 and I was about to get into bed and go to sleep, and I was like, oh no, let me listen to this Cole before it drops. So yeah, I don't know. And I feel like it's not just me, because I feel like the way artists drop music nowadays, we get music back to back to back to back to back. I mean, you get the 30 album songs with 2 minutes, and it's just so many different things that artists are trying to keep people's attention, get the numbers that they need to get to be profitable, to continue doing the music as a business. Just all of these other factors, and it's got me wondering if, it's really got me thinking of how the internet, streaming, social media, and all of that has affected music. And it's also got me to thinking that, is that a good thing? Is that something that maybe we should reevaluate? Because I feel like the way we run through music is just not the same. And in turn, it's gonna affect the quality of music that we get. The reason why music is not sticking is because artists don't put forth the proper effort if they feel like we're not gonna sit there and listen to it. We're not gonna take the time to break down the album that they spent a year and a half putting together. We're gonna listen to it one time through, go on Twitter, tell you if it's dope or if it's trash, and then keep it pushing. As an artist, I'd be frustrated. I wouldn't give you my best effort. So I can kind of understand it. Now, I'm wondering where that leaves us, because if we're only gonna have a small percentage of artists making quality music because they know they're gonna get the return on that investment, what does it mean for the up and coming artists? Do they just play the streaming game? Do they not really give it their all? Or do they give their all to an industry that maybe doesn't even want it or appreciate it? I don't know. Just something to think about. I feel like I'm going on a whole ramble here. This part was to talk about new music, but like I said, I listened to it. I couldn't get into it. I don't know if that was just the mood I was in. I wasn't really in a bad mood. I was okay, but I don't know. The new music is just not sticking to me like that, man. And we'll see what happens. With all that being said, J. Cole did drop a phenomenal project. The off season is great, and for this video's purposes, I'm gonna just leave it as that, because if you've been following the channel, you know that I have another video, the Fall Off Era Intro to the Fall Off Part 1, which I will link below. You can check that out if you haven't done so already. But I'm gonna make a Part 2 that's gonna consist of everything that Cole has done with the off season, the project, the visuals, everything. That's gonna be its own separate video, so I don't want to like talk about it too much in this video, but that video is coming very soon. I'm starting to work on it this week, so keep your eyes out for that, because it is coming very, very soon. I'm excited to hit y'all with that. But Cole has a lot of other news going on just outside of the album, because if you didn't know, J. Cole is now a professional basketball player in the Rwandan National Basketball League. And of course, over the weekend, he made his debut. And I'm not mad at Cole. His first professional game, not a bad stat line. And shout out to J. Cole for having one of the best album rollouts of all time. As somebody who works in the digital space and social media, I feel like Cole has kind of mastered the rollout in this era. I mean, he gives us documentaries, he gives us visuals, he's giving us backstory. And now for the off season, what better way to fit into this whole basketball theme, basketball narrative, than to go play professional basketball. Shout out to J. Cole, man, for fulfilling all his hoop dreams. And yeah, I'm curious to see what he does for the rest of the season over there in Africa. Man, this one here is crazy, because I wasn't sure of how to exactly approach this topic, because this is something that I wanted to talk about. It's something that is eventually going to be a larger video on my channel. I'm sure of it, because it's something that is just always on my mind. I think about it literally every day as I go on social media, and that is just how crazy the internet has become. Now, let me give you guys some context as to where I'm coming from with all of this. I mentioned earlier in this video, I'm a huge fan of podcasts. I love listening to podcasts, and I've noticed over the weekend that shit has hit the fan for a couple of my favorite podcasts. Of course, one of them being the Joe Budden podcast. I don't want to talk about the messiness and the stuff that's going on, the details, because again, real lives are being affected, real things are going on. You know, people have been traumatized and hurt, and things that are going on with that. So I don't want to get too deep into the accusations that have been made, and I hate to even call them accusations, because I listened and I heard them. You know, they're not accusations. It is what it is. But you know, I don't want to get too far into that. But I guess I want to get into the internet backlash of all of that, and just the things that I've seen online, the comments that people make. And granted, Twitter, Reddit, Instagram, it's provided this platform for us to all share how we feel, how we think, what we're going through, and I think it's a beautiful thing. But in 2021, we all know it's been happening for years now. The trolling, the negative comments, the effect that has on people is very real. And it's so crazy to me when I look at things on the internet, and I wonder how people can say that. I feel like, and I get it, right? Because on one hand, it's very easy to go online, type something into your Twitter, tweet it, it's there, and there's no consequence for it. You don't have to deal with the repercussions of what you just tweeted. And I feel like a lot of the times, especially nowadays, we forget that there's another person on the other end of that tweet. A couple of years ago, something that I told myself that I would do, and I'm really proud of myself that I stuck to. Every time before I tweet, I think about, especially if I'm talking about someone in particular, I think about, if this person reads my tweet, what do they think? How do they feel? What's their reaction? How is my tweet from a stranger that they don't know? They don't know me. How will my words affect them? This is something that I just think about, because, you know, I just always try to project a certain type of energy, because I want that energy to come back to me, right? So when I go online and I see people just kind of say these egregious things and just hurtful things, even if people have done wrong, people have done the worst of the worst, it's not really our place to step into it and let them have it, because it's other people on the side of the keyboard. And I feel like, you know what I mean, I want to come in here and give the whole PSA about this and that, but I don't know. I feel like the internet's beauty has just gotten so convoluted with all of these other things, and people use these platforms as ways to create chaos and to perpetuate things that we don't need to perpetuate, man. Let's all just kind of come together here and enjoy this internet thing and do this, man. So like I said, I don't want to get too deep into the specific podcast beef, but I was scrolling on the timeline yesterday, man, and seeing everything going on with the Joe Budden Network, seeing everything going on with all the smoke and Kwame Brown calling out Gilbert Arenas and Steven Jackson and just all of this crazy stuff, man. So I want to use my platform to say that let's just all be mindful of what we're putting out into the universe. Let's understand that there's another human on the other side of that and move accordingly, because you wouldn't want somebody coming at you after you made a mistake or while you're going through one of the toughest times of your life. So let's maybe consider that for these quote unquote celebrities and people that we put on a pedestal and hold them to some type of standard, right? Let's remember that they're a human being just like the rest of us all. So yeah, man, I ain't mean to come in here and turn into a walking PSA, but again, on these check-ins, I like to come in here and I like to just be honest. Whatever's on my mind, I'm gonna talk about it. I try to keep it about music. I try to keep it about fun things, but it's not always where I'm at. So I appreciate you rocking with me on the check-in. Like I said, the Fall Off Era Part 2, the off season, is coming very, very soon. I'm getting to work on that. It's gonna be a long process. Those videos take me a little longer than these check-in videos make. So give me some time on that, because I really want to take the time to make sure it's right and give y'all and give the album, really, man, give that body of work its proper due, because I didn't talk about it this video, but Cole did his thing, man. He put his foot into that fucking album. So I am gonna have that video coming very, very soon. Make sure you keep on the lookout for that. Give me a follow on the Instagram. Give me a follow on the Twitter. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I do appreciate you. If you're here watching this video up to this point, I appreciate you, because I know a lot of y'all don't watch to the end. I look at the numbers. I appreciate y'all. I'm out.